We are the fifth largest economy in the world. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world. Our GDP growth rate in the last financial year was 7.2%. The projected GDP growth for the current fiscal is 7%, even as the rest of the world is staring at a recession. In fact, Germany and the Netherlands are already officially in recession. Therefore, you would think India is among the brightest spots on the global economic landscape. Why then are the rich queuing up to leave India? According to the Henley Private Wealth Migration Report 2023, which tracks wealth and investment migration trends globally, India is expected to witness an exodus of scores of millionaires and may in fact lose as many as 6,500 high net worth individuals in 2023 alone. China has been ranked first in terms of the outflow of millionaires from the country. It is predicted to lose 13,500 high net worth individuals, followed by India, which is in the second spot. It is a slight improvement though over last year, as 2022 saw 7,500 millionaires leaving India and moving to foreign shores. Now, according to Henley and Partners, millionaires or high net worth individuals are people with investable wealth of $1 million or more. Andrew Amoyles, the head of research at the New World Wealth, argues that these outflows are not particularly concerning as India produces far more new millionaires than it loses to migration. But the question still remains, why is India losing its wealthiest citizens? According to Sunita Singh Dalal at Private Wealth and Family Offices, prohibitive tax legislation coupled with convoluted and complex rules relating to outbound remittances that are open to misinterpretation and abuse are among the primary factors that have triggered the trend of investment migration from India. Some have even termed it tax terrorism. So, where are these rich Indians moving, you might wonder? Dubai and Singapore are the most preferred destinations for wealthy Indian families. Dubai, also known as the fifth city of India, is particularly attractive for its government-administered Global Investor Golden Visa program, favorable tax environment, robust business ecosystem, and a safe and peaceful environment. The report further predicts that globally, Australia will witness the highest net inflow of millionaires in 2023, followed by the UAE, which had a record-breaking influx last year. Next on the list is Singapore, followed by the United States, and then you have Switzerland, Canada, Greece, France, Portugal, and New Zealand on the list. On this show, we're asking, should India be concerned by these exodus figures? Despite India being a global economic bright spot, why are rich Indians leaving the country? And what does the government of India need to do to stem this rate of migration and reverse this growing trend? It's a very simple question that we're asking on the show. If India is indeed a bright economic spot, why are rich Indians leaving the country in hordes? Before you answer that question, I just want to read out for you and our viewers a tweet that was put out by Mohan Das Pai, one of the most preeminent voices in corporate India. He said, this trend is very worrisome. He quoted the same report. He says the finance ministry is making life very difficult for high net worth individuals in India. There's too much tax terrorism, too much complex compliance like new TCS. We need to ease this. And he's tagged Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Prime Minister's office in his tweet. So, Dilip Cherian, is it tax terrorism, as Mohan Das Pai puts it, that is driving millionaires out of the country? Why is this happening according to you?
The key drivers are economic anxiety, anxiety about what's in store. And the second driver is unpredictability. The fact that high net worth individuals do not want to live in a situation where changes of rules could affect their incomes, their right to spend, as in this case, the right to spend overseas, for example. They just don't want to deal with unpredictability. We can always say that change is a constant, and this is what entrepreneurs are famous for. So they're happy with change as a constant as far as the business environment, operating environment is concerned. But as far as their own personal income environments are concerned, they don't want a situation where unpredictability is high. You quoted two figures, and for me, the figure that's worrying is that last year we lost 7,500, and this year we lose 6,500 or thereabouts. That shows that more and more people are actually trying to leave, and we are being left with less and less. That is worrying. And when I was talking to a very high net worth individual, he had this to say. He said that what should be worrying us is not the income of the people who are leaving, but the fact that they are also the job creators. And I think that is what is triggering Mohandas Pai and others to start raising the noise about this. They usually would not, but in this case, they recognize that as we lose people who are high net worth, what we are losing is engines of entrepreneurship.
Mr. Kapoor, perhaps you can put into perspective for us this entire issue. What is this whole thing of tax terrorism that people like Mohandas Pai are talking about? Is this what is driving people out of the country? He talks about tax terrorism. He says the compliance rules are way too complex. Dilip Cheran says there is too much anxiety that stems from unpredictability. The rules and the laws keep changing here. You know, there is very often little or no notice given. We all saw what happened with demonetization, for example, in 2016. What, according to you, are the biggest factors that are driving this mass migration of millionaires from India?
Right now, see, we have to understand that ultimately it gets down to the creation of an ecosystem which supports the various aspects and factors. Now, we need to understand when it comes to wealth creators, it is important to understand that the respect for that wealth creator, as well as the very fact if you are looking the same wealth creator with suspicion, they cannot go hand in hand. So my point is that if you talk of wealth creators, then they need to be respected, because at the end of the day, whatever a person does in his own country, he does it for two very aspects. One, he needs respect for his good work that he has done, and second, whether or not the policies of the government are such that they help him in having more money in his hands so that he can freely invest it, whether in the domestic economy or otherwise. So what I feel out here is the reverse that is happening. We have all seen it in the past that the wealth creators in this country, how they are being hounded by the political parties when it comes to the opposition. Now, if a person who sees that he is generating wealth for the nation, including, as Mr. Cherian rightly said, that they are the job creators as well. And at the same time, if you are being hounded, if you are being seen with suspicion, and coupled with also the fact that the tax policies of the government, if they remain unpredictable, when I talk of unpredictability, it means that it's not these small little rules or provisions that get changed. What is happening is that it's the kind of measures that take place which are bringing about shocks in the economy. So I think it's very important at the end of the day that government needs to be sensitive towards these aspects, and it is only when the government understands that they have to be an effective facilitator and not a roadblock in terms of the development of free mind of an entrepreneur, will we see on the ground that the things will take place the way they should. Right now, I see that it's a volatile environment, and which is we also have general elections that are going to take place in 2024. So I don't see much things happening on ground for a while.
Narendra Vadhva, our panelists have made some excellent points. Dilip Cherian talked about the anxiety that exists thanks to this unpredictability, with the laws constantly changing at the drop of a hat. He also says, remember that it's not just the millions we should be counting. These are job creators that India is losing. Yogendra Kapoor says that, these job creators and wealth creators are treated with suspicion in their own country. Rather than being accorded respect, they're often hounded thanks to India's political environment. That, coupled with the uncertainty and unpredictability that exists, these individuals, it seems, no longer want to live in this country. What, according to you, is driving these individuals, these high net worth individuals out of the country? What's going so wrong? Mr. Vadva, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that question is for you.
Yeah. So before I answer your question, I must emphasize here, not all high net worth individuals are leaving India. Many individuals remain committed to their home country, India, and actively contributing to the development. Economic and political and social factors can also fluctuate over the time. That's why they are moving out of India. And it is not only tax terrorism or my co-panelists have mentioned, there can be other reasons also which can influence their decision to leave India. And as we know that world has become a one nation kind of thing, there are hardly any boundaries. People may like to explore the quality of life, and the global mobility is there. They can relocate and very easily, which was not the case earlier. And they have their own preferences for that. We cannot say that it is only tax terrorism or other factor. India is again, their numbers are improving. Whole world is looking at India. As I may mention few data points, we had 97,000 startups as per the DIPP numbers, which have started, and many have crossed billion marks also. These startups, they are the job creators also who are in India, and they want to be in, they want to remain in India for the growth of the economy. So my limited point is that not all people are rushing to overseas countries. Uh, the world has become one nation without any boundaries, so they are exploring this.